Hey, welcome to the Good Fight Collective podcast. So glad you're with us for this episode. You know, as a ministry, we know that many of us tend to operate on our own, but we also know that we're stronger together. And as a ministry, we want to help give you some tools to help you fight the good fight of faith.
Yes, and today we're excited to have in studio a very special guest to unpack that a little bit more with us. Jason, you want to introduce our guest?
I would love to. Thanks, George. Today's guest is really cool. He is he's a renowned comedian now. He is a husband, a father, and for me, the thing that you probably don't know and you should, the thing he should be most popular for, and I don't know why this isn't public and why it's not out there, but literally for almost 20 years now, he has managed to be the winning team in our college football pick'em fantasy every year, and it's quite the feat. You're a legend in a very small circle of people.
Yep.
And I don't know why more people don't praise you for that, and you don't have your own TV show to talk about college football picks. But that's an aside. But this is a friend of us. Is a good fight. This is someone for me when I think about fighting the good fight of faith. There's seasons where we've been a part of that with each other, and it's really cool to have you be a part of the podcast today. So welcome to the Good Fight Collective podcast, Andrew Stanley.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. This is like a real studio, real thing.
I know.
It's
like
so fun.
It's like we're all grown up now.
And thanks for acknowledging my pick'em championships. I've won $0. Never been money on the line. That's how I'm so good at it, is that I don't get nervous because there's no stakes.
Every year there's a couple people who are part of it who are like, should we put money on it this year? And I'm like...
I think I've won it too much for anyone to agree to do money. And so I should probably let my foot off the gas a little so I can start earning.
You know what happens is every year I get out to a hot start.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah.
You guys get too creative. I just trust the experts. I pick somebody that's an expert and I go, I'm going to do what they say. And you guys are all trying to do your own research.
Yeah, I think way too much and I listen to way too much and I overthink it.
Money versus bragging rights. I don't know.
Yeah, I guarantee I put the least thought into it.
I guarantee I might put the most, unfortunately. The good thing about it, though, is you find yourself watching games you would never watch or tracking with games because it's like, it's my number 9 pick this week, so I need to know who's going to win.
Like, without having to be a degenerate sports gambler. There is so much online sports gambling now where people are like, in order to enjoy this game, I have to have some kind of meaningful financial investment. And I like that we're able to do it just for pride.
Just for fun. Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah.
It's a good time. But welcome to, man, thanks for being here today. Thanks for being a part of this with us. And we're excited to have a little bit of time with you. Really, just to kind of get started, we'd love for you just to kind of share a little bit about people might know you from somewhere. You know, it's funny, even walking in the studio here, the team here, they've all heard you somewhere. Like, oh, I saw him in Orlando, or I saw him. It's funny how everyone has a connection with you now, but love to hear the story, a little bit of the journey of Andrew.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've done stand-up in 47 states now. Wow. So everybody could have seen me.
Yeah, it's true.
Except for Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. So if anybody has a comedy show in one of those states, I'd love to talk.
Make that happen.
I got to finish up. But no, yeah, I've been in stand-up. I'm coming up on my 10-year anniversary. In July, will be 10 years for my first open mic.
Which I remember, just a real quick aside, we were leading a group of high schoolers together. You remember this?
During that, yeah.
And this guy that was in a small group you were in high school, and him kind of on a whim, like a bucket list thing, went and did an open mic night.
Yeah.
And I remember you guys talking about, hey, we're going to go do this. And we were all like goofing off about it.
And he did it once, and he was like, that was enough. I scratched the itch. I'm good. And I was like, I'm going to make this my whole life.
Totally remember that. And we were like...
different outcomes.
Because at the time, he was a budget analyst, if I'm correct.
I was a budget analyst at a company. They just hired me to come do an event for them.
Let's go.
So I got brought back into big company. Yeah. It was for the executives who had never worked with me. And it was like this big high-level meeting. And I was just like, this is the only way I ever would have made it to this meeting. It's through the back door as the entertainment.
The excitement, I remember you would come to group, and I think I'm allowed to share this. If not, we'll edit this out.
I imagine it's fine.
Was when you were in the process of becoming like the fire guy. Like you would come to group, right. You would come to group, and everything's like, "Hey, man, it looks like I'm going to be like the fire marshal for the floor." It was really exciting stuff.
They were like, "Hey, Andrew's, he's not doing great at his responsibilities he was hired for, so let's give him some extra stuff to do while he's here." So I was the fire marshal for the 14th floor at Southern Company.
Pretty exciting.
And it was nice because I was pretty low ranking on the ladder, the corporate ladder for 59 out of 60 days, but for that one day.
How about
I got to go in my boss's boss office and say, "Get down there, Larry. If you don't get down there, I'm the boss for this 15-minute period."
And so you didn't let that power go.
I'd go check the bathrooms. I'd kick the stall doors open and be like, "Listen, guys, we're going to get fined if we don't get down there."
I am the captain of the ship.
Yeah.
Did you have a stopwatch? Did you run a stopwatch?
I didn't have a stopwatch. I had a vest.
Ooh.
I had a bright orange vest. I had a red hat with white font, which at the time wasn't a big deal. Now you can't really be doing that. You start ordering people around, and they're like, "Who's this guy?" But it said fire marshal. I think when I left the company, I think I stole the hat. I think I still have the hat. I think the statute of limitations is up.
Yeah.
You can admit it now.
Totally didn't mean to take us on that rabbit trail.
But yeah, if anybody's hiring needs a fire marshal, I'm happy to come in, be a guest fire marshal.
Well, running out of the building is the first time I think I met you. And I'm not even sure if you know this story.
I don't remember.
It was an every other Sunday night church when a church was just getting planted and started. And my wife and I were showing up late. And this little boy comes running out of the church. And I was like, that doesn't seem right, this little boy. And about the time this pretty little blonde lady comes running out after him, like, stop him. And it come out later to find out that was you.
Oh, really?
That was you.
I wonder why I was running.
Bolting out of the back church doors
I didn't
on
agree
Sunday night.
I didn't agree with my dad's theology. I was like, I can't be here for you talking about this.
That was my first encounter with Andrew Stanley.
Misinterpreting.
Yeah, at about 2-3 years old.
That's so funny. I didn't know that I was a runner. That's good to know. I have to ask my mom about that.
Yep.
Yeah, so I was getting out of there.
There you go. So
well, thanks for maybe saving my life.
You aspired all the way up to a fire marshal, getting people to run.
Yeah, I've always been afraid of fire, and even if there's a potential hazard, I like to get out of there.
There you go.
But yeah, I was a fire marshal. I eventually got brought onto we didn't call it this, but it was the party planning committee for our floor as well, for the financial department. We would go to Piedmont Park once a year and have cornhole and barbecue, and me and all the ladies would be in charge of planning that. They would be like, "Andrew, you can be in charge of the cornhole tournament." I'd be like, "All right, I'll do that."
Got it.
So when I told them I was leaving, they were like, "Oh no, our valuable guy, who's gonna be the fire marshal and the only man on the party planning committee now?"
This is obviously prior to you being married, right?
This was all prior.
Yeah.
Yeah, I quit. I was Anna and I were dating when I left the job, and she was very supportive of that.
Of the dating or leaving the job?
Both.
That was a big deal, though. Like, I remember our back porch conversations, just this whole, like, stepping into comedy full time was a big step.
Yeah, it was terrifying. I just turned 26, so I lost my health insurance from my parents. Right at the time I decided to quit my job. So I lost both my sources of potential health insurance at the same time. But it was like I was starting to travel for stand-up. I was using all my vacation days from work to go do gigs. And it was like October of 2018, and I was out of vacation days, but I was still getting asked to go do stuff. And I was like, I got to make a decision. And I had enough stuff booked from October through March of the next year to where I was like, all right, I can be a comedian for 6 months at least. And then I can always come crawling back if the runway doesn't build itself out in front of me. And so I was like, all right, I think I'm going to leave. And it was weird. I had just accepted a new position at my company. It's like we just acquired a company, and I accepted a position with them because they wanted people to go over. And it was a pretty big promotion, actually.
Yeah.
And so I'd interviewed, I'd been accepted for it. And so I'd already told my current role I was leaving, and I accepted the new one. And so I just kind of changed courses. Hey, actually, I'm not going to be starting that job, and I'm not going to be coming back to this one. But one of my friends was the hiring manager at the new one, and I had lunch with him a few months later, and I was like, how did it go? Did you fill the position that I had taken? He goes, yeah. And we interviewed a bunch of people, and every time at the end of the interview, we'd ask them, we'd go, by the way, you're not like a magician or anything on the side, right? You're not going to leave us for a weird reason. So I changed the last question for all the interviews.
There you go.
Yeah.
How about that?
That was
a culture shifter.
Yeah. But it was very full circle this year. I got to go back to the big corporate meeting. The CEO, the now CEO, was a guy I would meet with once a month about his budget because he was in a different role. And so he was the one introducing me. And it was one of those, it was in the big ballroom at Georgia Tech. And he was going to introduce me. They're like, hey, Chris is going to bring you up. And I was like, he's probably going to give me like a nice, like at least minute and a half introduction. Because I'd sent some stuff you could say that lets them know what to expect. And he gets up there and goes, now one of our former budget analysts, Andrew Stanley. And I didn't even say I'm a comedian. I'm just like running from the back. I'm out of breath getting up there. Hey, guys, I used to work here.
Oh, my goodness. But the good thing is you knew the budget, so you knew what to charge them, though, I guess.
Yeah, they paid me a pretty good percentage of what they used to pay. It was pretty nice.
That's awesome.
But it was funny to see people that were like, wait, is that the guy that used to come in sweaty to meetings and not really know what he was talking about?
It's the fire marshal.
Yeah, is that the fire? That's the guy who used to
put your hat on.
Is that the guy that pulled me out of the women's restroom? But no, it's really fun. It's staying busy. It's been full time since 2018, and a good mix of opening for people, doing corporate events, lots of church stuff, and headlining some comedy clubs here and there, and a comedy special coming out later this year.
That's pretty cool.
So
how do you play that? We've thought about this before, but just that tension of like, because you're in front of different audiences all the time. You're opening for certain comedians, and so do you tailor your? I've seen your notes. Like you have a book that you always have a bunch of stuff in. Are you? How much thought do you put into like when you put together a set?
I put a lot of thought into it, but also like I don't have like a bunch of different gears I can just like shift. It's like, oh, this crowd wants dirty stuff. I don't like have that gear. But I've learned like how I can still do well with that crowd. But like last night, I did 2 sets. One of them was in Alpharetta. My buddy Dustin Nickerson was headlining, so I went and just did a guest set. And his crowd's very like mine. Like it's a, mostly Christian parents. It's a very familiar audience. And so
yes, I was in your crowd about a month.
You've been in my crowd. Yeah, George is basically the exact the avatar for the average guy that would be at my show, which means I really got to take advantage. Problem is my audience is all like my parents' age.
Yeah.
And so I really got to have a career fast before I lose them or start getting this next generation interested.
Yeah, for sure.
I resemble that comment.
Yeah. But I did sit there, and that was very familiar. And I had a brand new thing I was trying, but I, did something at the beginning, some at the end that I knew would work. And then I went to Laughing Skull in Midtown, and the guy on stage before me, my friend, we had to kick a lady out because she was hammered drunk, and she was in the front row. And just in the middle of his set, she stood up, turned around to address the audience because she wanted to talk to him. And started saying she was a brand ambassador for some company and please use my code. She was just doing like an ad for her business. Just interrupted my voice. He was so drunk, her boyfriend had to literally carry her out of the show. So that's the same night as the George Dempsey audience.
Yeah, I missed that night. Yeah.
And so it's pretty fun to have, I did 10 minutes and then 15 minutes for very different audiences within 3 hours of each other. And I did pretty much the same set. And they both went great.
Cool.
And so I try to write stuff that works well kind of universally without being too broad that it's not, interesting. But yeah, my whole time I've been doing stand-up, I've been in both places. I've been at Laughing Skull where you have to walk past a big penis statue to get to the room. And I used to be so scared to go in there. And there's all these people. I was raised around, but even in college, I was just around a bunch of straight white Christians. And then all of a sudden I'm in a room and I'm the only one. And it's like... And it's scary, but you learn like, oh, we have a lot in common. Like we're all comedians, and it's like, oh, they don't hate me. They just want to know if I'm funny. So I've been doing both the whole time. I've been doing church shows and club shows, and so I've gotten pretty comfortable both places. But you do learn like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't open with the mission trip bit here where I can at the church.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
So.
And through the process, I know there's some people probably that it's like when you made that announcement, hey, not only am I not going to the new department, I'm leaving. And we talk about authentic community all the time. And I knew when you grew up, man, a lot of your authentic community, Jason, was a big, huge part of that for you. But now in your circle, how do you find maybe some authentic community out there, being on the road and doing some of the things, or even some people that encourage you along the way, or some people that maybe were naysayers? Because as guys, we deal with both sides.
Yeah.
So
sure.
Something about that.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like I'm in different communities now. Like I have all my comedian friends, and even within that, there's different communities. I have like my comedian friends that are all, clean doing churches, and those are guys I can talk about certain things with. Then I have my friends in the green room at Laughing Skull that, we have 90% of our lives in common, but we're all very different belief systems and different, types of comedy that we do, but they're still like my best friends. Yeah. And it's good to have both of those things. Like the reason I went to see Dustin last night is I wanted to do a set on his show, but also like he's one of the guys that I look up to that's seemingly been a great comedian, great husband, great dad. And there's so many more bad examples than good examples of people doing those three things well. So anytime I can be around Dustin, I'm like, I'm gonna go hang out. Yeah. Even if I don't get on, I'm gonna go hang out in the green room and try to learn from him. So there's that, and then there's like my friends that are nothing to do with stand up. And Anna and I have, some of our friends have moved, but we kind of now have this friend group that's all in Atlanta, lives near us, all starting to have kids at the same time, and it's been fun to see that community kind of grow as well. And so it's so that's like a newer thing, but it's really exciting because it's more like, oh, I can just be a normal person.
Yeah.
And
yeah. And after the show I was at just recently, I know a few of those people because they're children of my age friends. Sure. So, but they're grown adults like you are and stuff. And it was neat to see.
A lot of our friends were at that one. Yeah.
Totally. A lot of your friends were there out in the lobby afterwards and just hanging out. And it was great to see that a community. So, one, you're being intentional. And two, you're being open because it's kind of ever changing sometimes as well in your life.
Yeah, and it's hard to be friends with me because I'm just gone all the time. Like it was really hard for me when I started stand up, especially, and even with our group we were leading. All of a sudden, I'm just like, hey, I'm not really gonna make it. I'll be there once this month because you have to just do it every night, and you have to say yes to every opportunity, and at least that's how it feels. And so it was really hard to have good friendships and keep good friendships going, and it still is, but especially early on when it was like, I have to just give this everything I have, and to do that, I have to be gone 5 nights a week, and hard to have authentic community when you're just unavailable.
Yeah.
So it's something that I probably went from having a lot of to having very little of, and now starting to feel like I can get it back in a meaningful way and not like a let's check in once a month type of way.
Yeah, that's good.
But even like we, Anna and I joined a small group through church a few years ago. We did one that was like a just married group with a bunch of people that just got married. Then all of a sudden, everybody starts having kids, and they're like, we're not coming to group anymore. And it's funny. It's like, oh, we're all entering the kid season of life now. So actually, we can't. We all have newborn children, so we can't come on Wednesdays anymore. So you have it, then you lose it. Then all of a sudden, everybody's kid is starting to be closer to 1 year old, and it's like, hey, actually we can do stuff again. So let's start, so it's kind of ebbs and flows.
Yeah, for seasons.
Whose house is childproof? We'll come there.
Yeah, who's got plugs in the outlets? Yes. And exactly. So
it was weird because there was when you were a teenager. No, but when Andrew was a teenager, and George knows this because George is a guy I tell everything to, but there was kind of this weird secret. For those of us in the group, we all knew you were hilarious. You were the funniest person I knew, but you were only seemingly funny with people that you knew.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else was like, oh, this makes sense.
And so if like someone new was in the room, you like wouldn't say a word. Like you were usually fairly quiet if someone knew, but if it was just the dudes, you were unbelievably funny.
Yeah, it's like where you feel safe. And it was small group.
So when you started getting on stage doing comedy, those of us in that little circle were like, our secret's kind of out now. Like people know he's funny. It's pretty, but it's cool. Now you get in front of stage in front of strangers all the time and tell jokes, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and it still is more comfortable in front of strangers than like in a room full of like at a party.
That's funny.
Like it's like I feel so much pressure to try to be funny. People know I'm a comedian, but they don't know me. I'm like, listen, guys, it's not really like that. Like you're gonna be pretty let down.
I can't imagine.
But I think that our group, and for those we didn't really talk about it, but Jason was my high school small group leader, and not just like church small group leader. Like we would go to his house like twice a week. Like every Saturday, we'd be watching college football at Jason's house. We'd meet on Wednesday nights at Jason's house, and then he would also be our high school small group leader at church. So, but that was the place where I felt safe and where I felt like, I remember feeling like when I would try to say something funny, it felt like a place that I could swing and miss. And I wouldn't feel like, oh, I ruined my relationship with these people think I'm an idiot. I would be like, I remember like, on a one night of playing cards, I would be trying to make jokes. And if I could just bet 500 on a joke landing, I'd be like, great night.
Let's go.
So that was my first safe place where I really felt I could try stuff out. because it was all of our just very tight friends.
Yeah, that was good stuff, man. It's been cool watching your journey and watching you develop. And then over the years, even when I was in a different place, having you down and be a part of an event we did down there.
Yeah.
And it's been cool seeing just your influence and the opportunities you have. What does it look like for you kind of in this season of life? Is Charlotte, is she
11 months.
Yeah, she's almost one.
Yeah, almost one.
Crazy.
It is crazy.
It's nuts.
We can say the dog's name and she points to the dog.
Okay.
We can say who's the princess and she raises her hand. Like, it's just really fun.
What does it look like for you when you think about the good fight? What does it look like for you in this season to fight the good fight of faith?
Yeah, well, it's such a new lens when
Yeah.
you have a child that's like learning things and you're like reading her a book and you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to read her this. Like, oh, this is what you're like, because when they're little, they're like, yeah, you can just kind of just entertain them. But then all of a sudden it's like, oh, no, they're paying attention now. Oh, I need to be careful about what I say. Not just for the normal reasons, but now because there's somebody that's going to be doing everything I do.
Yeah.
And it is such a new lens, and it's such a cool, like you talk about like having like a childlike faith is such like a good thing to pursue. And obviously Charlotte's 11 months, so it's not like she's like learning the Bible, but you start to look ahead not that far to where it's like, how do I want to teach her this? What if she asks me this? What would I say? And like, it was the same thing when I started hanging out with non-Christians where they would ask me questions. They're like, oh, I haven't thought about that in a while because I just can't take it for granted. And it's like, you have to be ready to answer those hard questions. I was also worried, like my whole life, I've had this weird worry about how I'm going to teach my children to drive one day, like a way ahead of time worry. Like I was just like, oh man, I don't think I'm going to be good at teaching kids to drive. And I had the realization the other day, I don't think I'll have to teach her to drive.
It's true.
I don't think in 15 years they're going to be driving.
It'll all be like self-driving cars.
Yeah.
Or you can do like I did with my daughter. She was 15 and driving, and I said, hey, just turn here. And all of a sudden we were on 285 and she didn't know it. She was scared to death of the interstate. I was like, here we go. Yeah, just throw them in the deep end.
Yeah. And maybe that's what all of it's like. Maybe that's what, you can worry, how am I going to answer this question? How am I going to teach her about these things that are so important? And what do I actually believe about those things now that I think about it? But I think that it's make sure you're in a good place, and then you'll be in a good position to help them learn, I guess. But I don't know, George, you're the one who's done this before.
Well, and having a daughter that's about to be a junior at Auburn. I didn't know if you knew that. I didn't know if you were raising her right and gonna planning on sending her there. Or...
Well, we just did I can't believe I'm adult enough to do this. We just toured a preschool. Which just felt like something that I should not be doing. It feels like I'm way too young to be touring a preschool with a lady that's like, and here's where here's the curriculum we do. I'm like, I don't know about curriculum. But they're like, we have a college football, day, so make sure, if you don't have a team, she needs to have a team. She needs to have stuff to wear.
Oh my goodness!
And I was like, she has a team.
She has a team. Come on, they're not very good, but now
they're not very good.
We're working on it.
Hey, the clothing's cheaper.
But that is good. I mean, what you're talking about there again is just seeing things through her lenses now and being intentional. And I remember when,
or even the music I'm listening to, I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have that on right now.
Yeah.
Or a podcast where I'm like, oh, probably shouldn't have that on.
Yeah.
Or I remember the old movies we watched that were PG back in the day, and all of a sudden I was so happy my daughter and son, they were like 10 and 11, 12. We started watching those movies. I was like, oh my. I didn't realize that was in that because I'm seeing it through a different lens now. I'm seeing it through their eyes.
Like, oh man.
So different.
Yeah, 100%. Even certain parts of Miss Rachel, I'm like, oh, let's fast forward this part. It's like, but it is crazy how much stuff there is for kids. Like we were watching the Miss Rachel thing, and I looked. Guess how much? Just the first. If you type in Miss Rachel, the first video that comes up. Guess how many views it has? Do you have any idea? On YouTube?
No.
Try to guess.
I've actually never heard of Miss Rachel.
So Miss Rachel's like. She sings songs, and it's just a children's program. YouTube children's program, but
that's what I figured.
It's like the most popular one.
1 million views. I don't know.
2 billion views.
What?
2 billion.
What?
Yeah, Miss Rachel is probably the wealthiest person in the United States. I couldn't believe that.
2 billion.
2 billion.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, this is crazy. Like whatever is in this will influence a generation, 2 generations of children. Hopefully, there's no subliminal weird stuff.
Yeah, from Mr. Rogers to Sesame Street to Barney.
She's like the Mr. Rogers of today.
Yeah. Wow.
We might have gotten a little excited when one of our videos passed 100.
2 billion.
Like I remember we were like,
Yeah.
we had 100 people
Yeah.
watch this video.
Well, that is great.
Yeah.
Like it is like, well, you think about like
1,000 followers. Yeah.
even like an Instagram clip. Like I have a few that have gotten like over 1 million or whatever. But
Yeah.
you're like, it's
Well,
hard.
how's that
you
feel?
You can't even picture that many people.
Yeah,
It's like a certain point, numbers get to a point where it's like this is almost meaningless, because you can picture 100 people in a room, and that's an awesome full room.
yeah,
And if you did this live podcast in front of 100 people, you'd be like, that was awesome. But then you're just like, all right,
Billion.
6 million people. What is that? Like I don't even understand that.
yeah. How does that even?
Yeah, but
Oof.
2 billion is
It's a lot of people.
yeah.
Wow.
That's nuts. But anyway, I don't remember what the question was. But I
We were
guess
just fighting a good
what does
fight
it
of
look
faith
like for
and-
me to fight the
Yeah,
good fight?
in this season, like for you, what does it look like?
Yeah, well, it's the thing for me is trying to balance what my career demands of me from a time and travel perspective with being a good dad and a good husband.
Yeah.
Is the thing I think about the most when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if I'm doing it right. We try to put guardrails in place and be like, all right, let's look at each month in terms of how many nights away and what the plan's going to be. And if it's a long stretch of me being gone, let's make sure we have some really fun stuff to look forward to for when I get home. And it's, sometimes that feels like it works, and sometimes it feels like, man, this month kind of sucked that I was gone that much. And it's just like, is that just something we have to deal with, or is it something we have to fix? And it's something we're always talking about, and it's always the tension, and it's the thing that I'm the most afraid of doing a bad job at.
I think what's cool about that, though, just in our conversations about just the idea of good fight, you're talking about it. Like for a lot of people, it kind of happens, and then you just kind of like either sweep it under the rug or fix it and then
Or
move
you
on.
just
But,
justify
like,
it, and because I'm guilty of that. I'm just like, well, I just have to. Like
Yeah,
if they're gonna,
yeah.
like I have to go. Like
Just the mere point of you saying, hey, we sit down and discuss it, and we map out the month, and we look at it, and we're intentional. And then we may hit a home run, and we may strike out one month, but that's okay. We're going to be intentional and continue to do it and keep it forefront.
And then there's one month where no one even asks me to do anything, and it's like, well, no, we gotta say next month we gotta say yes to everything.
yeah,
And it's a fear-based thing too, where it's like, well, if I don't take advantage of all this stuff I'm getting asked to do, what if it dries up? And then we would wish we could come back. And it's, a lot of it is faith too, that hey, I don't have to say yes to everything because I believe I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and that it's gonna, if we're on the right path, then good things will happen.
yeah, for sure.
So yeah, that's definitely what feels like the good fight is in our house.
That's cool.
Is figure that out.
What is that tension like? We talked about this a couple weeks ago, but this super random story. I was on a mission trip once, and we were speaking in front of all these like English speaking students, and we're doing this like event kind of thing. We'd gathered them from the school, and they were coming to an event where we were going to talk about faith in God. And the guy that hosted the event got in front of the crowd and introduced me because I made a bunch of jokes in front of him as the funniest man in America.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Not true. But when he introduced me to the crowd that way, all of a sudden it was like, I have nothing to say. There's nothing I can say right now that's funny because you just introduced me in the worst. What is it like, that tension where people kind of expect you to be?
Yeah, the
funny?
crowd is like, is Jim Carrey about to come out?
Yeah, 100. I'm like, who are you?
Come on, funny man, make us laugh.
I was
Also,
like,
you're like, hey, I'm not about to give a funny performance. I'm
No.
here to talk about serious things.
yes.
Like-
it just was totally unexpected and
Yeah.
totally like,
And he has good intentions.
and I made some like fart joke or something, but it was totally inappropriate.
yeah, that's transcends culture.
Of course.
Yeah. Everybody.
Countries.
You think there's any countries where farting's not funny at
I
all?
hope not.
In Japan, I feel like maybe they're like, there's nothing funny about this.
Maybe too regal. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just, for you, that tension of like of people expecting you to be funny almost, or like, how does that play out for you?
On stage, it's nice because you sign up for that expectation,
For sure.
and it's like everybody signed up for it, and it's nice they don't expect anything else from you. It's like I only have to do this, and I like it because it feels fair, and you should be prepared, and it's like if they don't laugh, it's really nice feedback.
Yeah.
I love about stand up is that you don't have to wonder how you're doing.
Yeah.
There's no subtleness to the instant feedback you're getting, and so it's really helpful when you're working on new stuff to be like, all right, well, that didn't work, or it worked this well, but I want it to work this well. Off stage is more where it's a little bit awkward, like we talked about, where
Yeah.
it's like all right, somebody introduced me at a party to a big group of people. Like, Andrew's actually a stand-up comedian, and he opens for so-and-so. And it's like, anyway, Andrew, anything to say? It's like, yeah, nice to meet you guys. Sorry, I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to the bathroom 5 times during a party just for anxiety reasons. But Seinfeld had a great quote that I say all the time, but people ask him about being like an introvert, but being a stand-up comedian. They're like, how can you talk to all these people, but also like be an introvert?
Yeah.
And he goes, I can talk to all of you, but I can't talk to any of you.
That's good.
And I always feel like I relate to that.
Yeah.
But also it is fun too. Sometimes I'm in a good mood and I can get a room laughing.
Let's go.
And they're like, this guy's a stand-up comedian. He's living up to and like that feels good. All of a sudden you're performing a little bit, but the pressure of having to do that all the time is not like if I'm in an Uber and people are like, I land somewhere, I'm Ubering from the airport. The guy's like, what are you in town for? I just go, work.
Yeah.
And like, what do you do for work? He's like, I'm a budget analyst. Still say that.
Fire marshal.
Very few follow-up questions.
Yeah. So it's kind of, and you are, as we've established earlier, especially from you, you've always had this sense of humor, but it's what you do. It's not who you are.
Yeah, and you have to remind yourself of that because so much of your self-worth can get wrapped up in, if you have a week full of shows and they all go well, you're just getting praised all the time. You're just like, people are like, what? People even off stage are like, can I get you anything? You have to really fight against believing that that's who you are and that's how people should treat you.
And your 11-year-old princess daughter doesn't bring you stuff at home and do all that.
Yeah, thankfully she's still like, I need my diaper changed now.
Yeah, reality can come in.
It does humble you quick. Yeah. It is funny. I was talking to Dustin about this last night. She's like, it's fun to get home from a week of sold out shows and come home and your wife is like, you don't even get to control the thermostat in our house. like, I know you've been in a nice hotel all week and been able to change the thermostat however you want. And people asking you what you need and if you need a ride and just telling you how funny you are. But when you get home, it's like, I need you to take him to practice. And also like, you're not in charge of anything. Yeah. And I think that if I were just single and doing shows every night and didn't have anyone, checking my ego, I think it'd be even more dangerous to just believe your own hype. Yeah. Thankfully, stand-up has a way of humbling you within itself all the time too. But you do have to, there's a certain personality type, and I'm probably susceptible to it, where you can just really start to believe that, I'm funny, I'm the best, and I deserve all the things people are doing for me.
Wow. And that's where, because one of the things we do, and we talk about group and being authentic in group and such, being involved with a group and having a group, or even like you said, your new group of friends that went through and they all have kids, and like I said, I saw them all show up, and it's like, dude, you just want to hang out. Now they were at your.
A lot of them, that was the first time they'd ever even seen me do stand up.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I know that.
Which is kind of nice to make friends, connections with people before there's any kind of weird dynamic of them seeing you at work.
Yeah.
But
that is funny. Nobody came to watch you be an analyst, right?
No, yeah, very few people came to my cubicle to be like, I wonder if he's got any new stuff today. Man, he's really got those Excel documents automated nicely. But no, obviously, as you guys know, as Jason has taught me my whole life, is like, it doesn't matter who you are, what you do, if you don't have authentic community, people that can call you on your crap and have the freedom to ask you anything. Then you're vulnerable. And having those people in your life that have permission to treat you like a brother or even deeper than that, then then you're susceptible to things you wouldn't be if you did have that.
And we've seen the consequences of that, even, and not to get too awkward, but in the last couple of years, just with some organizations where leaders didn't have that in their life and they made choices and have fallen. And you realize the question that we've asked a lot, one, just for protection for ourselves, but as we look at the system, is like, did they have people in their lives that had the ability to actually ask questions? Like, were there people there who actually could, like, hey, your crap stinks and we're going to be honest about it because you're human and I'm human and we all make mistakes? Or did you have a bunch of yes people around you?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and when you're in a position of power and leadership and you're kind of at the top, you don't have any automatic versions of that. You have to choose them and invite them, and it's easy not to.
and give them access. And
Yeah.
that person that goes, what are you not telling me that you should tell me?
Well, it's crazy. Like, I do a lot of shows in churches, and this happened multiple times where I show up and they go, "Hey, and please, obviously, just don't mention what happened here." And I was like, I don't even know what happened here. Obviously you've heard what happened. I'm like, I have not, but I can guess what it was. And it's just so common across the country. Churches, mid-sized, large, doesn't take a mega church for, the head pastor to have a big moral failing. And rock a community and rock a generation of people's faith who was like, oh, my faith was based on stuff that guy said.
Yeah. Instead of pointing them to Jesus, he was pointing them to himself too much.
Yeah, too much. And, usually those staffs that I talk to have an attitude of like, but you know what? In the years since then, we've found, we lost some people, but we have found a new, better version of what we thought we were doing. And it's, it's painful and we would never choose it, but things are coming back around. But it is crazy to walk in. I walk into these environments constantly where I've just shown up because they said, hey, can you come tell jokes for an hour to our volunteers?
Yeah.
And they're like, obviously, what's been going on. I'm like, I do not at all. But in fact, don't tell me because I don't want to accidentally say it.
Because I might make a joke about it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's all too common. And not just in the church, but in all, leadership positions. You see it in the NFL recently, even.
Yes.
Like, there's lots of that. And it's you can usually trace it back to somebody that didn't have great accountability.
That's really good. Hey, as we kind of wind down our time here and just give you a second to think, and Jason may have another question for you or not, but just anything that's on your mind, your heart, just, anything, the good fight, that, your family, just any great advice for anybody just rolling out. Because, you are over 30 now. So
yeah,
I'm sure you're
true.
full of
I'm
great
wise.
wisdom and advice. So,
I don't know. I feel like I'm such more of an advice receiving than an advice giving season of life. So nothing's like jumps to mind. So I may just not even answer.
But that's good advice right there. Is just to be open.
Yeah.
I love how you say you go to the green room and you listen. You seek out a counsel person.
Yeah. I definitely feel like I'm trying to figure out. Like I'm in a new season of life, so I'm definitely in more of let me try to figure this out than like let me tell you what I figured out. But I don't know. The thing that has been a constant for me is what Jason gave me all those years ago, which is that, you need to have people in your life that you can go to with anything. And even if nothing bad is going on or nothing stressful or no big decisions are in your life, if you wait until you need it, it's too late. You can't build authentic community in a pinch. So you have to have it. It's like insurance. So you can't sign up for insurance once you're sick. And so, the importance of that has just been a through line for me. And I've gone through seasons where I've had a great version and where I haven't had it at all.
Yeah.
And but I've always known how important it is, and Jason's the one that taught me that. So
it's funny as you say that because I think about, and I don't know how many times you heard me say the name George when you were a teenager, but
there were a few people that you just would have to use their first name and we would know who they are.
Yeah. And so it's cool because like when I'm hanging out with you guys, but I'm also hanging out with this guy. And I'm processing my life and ministry with him and vice versa. And so it's kind of cool, that circle and how God does that because it, I wasn't like this like super, hey, I figured it all out. I had people who were pouring into me and sometimes I would take, not that our group ever had any drama, but I would take, I'd process stuff with George and he'd help me think through things or.
Well, us seeing you doing that, you weren't just teaching us how to do it. We could see like, hey, we're here on Wednesday, but we know on Thursday, Jason has his version of this that meets in the same place. And it was so healthy to see like the guy who's teaching us this is doing it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a good word right there.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Being authentic. And
walk the walk.
And being real. Yeah. Not just do as I say.
For sure.
Follow me. It's almost discipleship, right?
Yeah. We're like, this guy's smoking twice as many cigars.
Ish.
Oh, that is so good.
We'll tell that story one day. Probably not right now. I did have a thing. Well, I'm going to move on.
Yeah, Jason.
That was an epic porch show. That
Jason was a huge influence on a lot of areas of my life.
That first night, epic night. Hey, I know you have a special coming out later this year, and if people wanted to track with you, how would they do that?
Yeah, best way is Instagram, Andrew W. Stanley on there, andrewstanleycomedy.com. See where I'm going to be. Got some shows coming up here in Alpharetta and in Phoenix and some other cities. But, yeah, Yeah, I would love for everybody to watch the special when it comes out. We're pitching it to the streamers literally this week.
Yeah.
And then it'll either be on YouTube or on the streamers. I'm trying. If it gets on YouTube, I'm going to try to get on Miss Rachel's channel.
That'd be awesome.
See if we can get some of her subscribers.
I mean, why not?
Play it for your kids in the morning. They'll learn some stuff.
While your kids take a nap, watch my special.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, and I'm pretty mild-mannered, so it might help them fall asleep.
There you go.
I'm not yelling or anything. So, but no, the specials I think turned out really well. You were there. It was at Buckhead Theater. We did 3 shows.
I believe you were there as well.
Came together really well. So we're excited about it.
Yeah.
And please watch it.
Please, cool, awesome, man. Thanks for being a part of this today, George. You like to wrap us up?
Yeah, thanks so much, Andrew, for being here. It's been great watching you and your story. Makes me sound like I'm old when I say stuff like that. But we just wish you well as you keep fighting a good fight of faith, really, as a follower of Christ, as a husband, and as a dad. How fun is that?
Crazy.
That is so good. So have a blast with that. And as we fight the good fight of faith, fight on.